There's a moment that hits a lot of us somewhere in midlife. You look around and realize you've built the life you were supposed to build. You did the things that were expected of you, maybe even better than most. And yet somehow it still feels off. You're proud, but you're tired. You're grateful, but you're restless. You can't quite name it, but success doesn't feel the way you thought it would. If that's where you are right now, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just outgrowing a version of yourself that worked for a while, but can't take you where you're meant to go next. Hey, I'm Chris Bennett, and this is Sapien Coaching. I work with people who look fine on the outside, the professionals, the achievers, the ones everyone leans on, but inside they feel stuck or disconnected or like something's quietly missing. And today, I want to talk about that in-between space, the one where everything looks okay, but something inside you knows it's time for more honesty, more alignment, more peace. There's a certain grief that comes when you realize the things you worked so hard for don't feel the way you hoped that they would. You built the career, you raised the family, you checked the boxes, and for a while, that sense of momentum kept you going. But one day, maybe slowly, maybe all at once, you start to feel the quiet underneath it all. You hit the next milestone and it doesn't land. You celebrate, but it feels hollow. That's not failure. That's your soul asking for something deeper. Sometimes what we call success is really safety in disguise. We chase goals because we're afraid to stop moving. We build identities that keep us respected, but not necessarily connected. And when that version of success stops working, it's disorienting because the story you've been living by no longer fits. The truth is, many of us learned early on that achievement was how we earned love, or at least stability. So we built a life around being dependable, competent, capable. But the deeper part of you, the part that wants meaning and ease and honesty, it's been whispering for years. You just finally got quiet enough to hear it. It's not that you failed, it's that you've evolved. I remember my own version of this. There was a season when my work looked great from the outside. I was doing everything right, but something in me was heavy. Every time I hit a new goal, the satisfaction faded faster. And for a long time, I tried to fix that by doing more work, more improvement, more effort, until I realized that what I actually needed wasn't more doing, it was more honesty. The life I had built looked successful, but it wasn't built around who I'd become. When success stops feeling like success, it's an invitation, not a crisis. It's life asking, are you ready to live differently now? That question isn't about throwing everything away. It's about slowing down enough to listen for what's still true. Because the things that once motivated you, security, validation, belonging, they made sense for who you were then, but you're not that person anymore. Now, you want peace more than applause, meaning more than motion, and a life that feels right, not just looks right. Here's what I've seen over and over again. Fulfillment doesn't come from fixing your life. It comes from finally aligning it. That means noticing what drains you and what restores you, being honest about what no longer fits, and gentle with yourself as you learn to release it. If you're in that space right now, here's 3 small questions to start with. What feels heavy even when it should feel good? What's one thing you keep doing just to keep the peace? Where do you feel most like yourself, even for a moment? You don't have to change your life overnight. You just have to start listening to the parts of you that you've been too busy to hear. When we stop pretending that we're fulfilled by things that no longer fit, we make space for something better. That can be uncomfortable. It can even look and feel like loss, but it's really just the truth taking its rightful place in your life. The world around you might not understand at first, but peace isn't something people give you. It's something you reclaim. And the moment you stop chasing what used to matter, you start finding what still does. So if success doesn't feel like success anymore, don't rush to fix it. Sit with it. Because that ache you feel, that restlessness, that question, that's the sound of growth. You haven't failed. You've simply reached the edge of the life that safety built, and now something truer is asking to take its place. If this message speaks to where you are, subscribe here for more grounded conversations about clarity, calm, and midlife growth. You've already done the hard part, surviving. Now it's time to practice living. You can also find more of my writing on Substack or reach out and book a call. I'd love to connect.